Shvat marks the Hilula of a very famous Libyan rabbi. His name was Rabbi Nissim Nahum Z'tl, one of the great rabbis of Libya from his time. He was born in English year 1862 on the 17th of December and passed away on the 19th of January in English year 1927. He was approximately at that stage in time when he passed away 64 years of age. He was a great Kabbalist. He was a great, let's say, person that gave a lot of his wealth to tzedakah with regards to Torah organizations. He would be one of the founders of the famous Yeshivat, Pורת, Yosef, and the השמים in Rehovot HaNahar, respectively, Nechebrat, Keter HaTorah, did a huge amount. Let's explore some of the highlights of the great rabbi's life. Now, he was born in Libya, in Tripoli, in the year 1862. I believe it was on the first day of Hanukkah, on the 25th of Kislev. Came from great family heritage. His father's name was Kalfala, and his mother's name was Rivka. And I believe he was one of 8 children, quite a large family over there. I think it was 7 boys and 1 girl. And I believe it was the youngest of the children, and it was a family full of noblemen, public figures from the city, and they supported the great Torah scholars over there, did a huge amount for Torah. At, let's say, when he was at a youngish age in of itself, he would learn in a Bet Sefer, in a school over there, I think within regards to which got a broad education in of itself. He would work as a tradesman when he came to around the age of 20, at the same time, while obviously it was coupled with in regards to Jewish learning in of itself. And I think it was interesting, there was one time a famous Shluchei D'Rabbanan, a rabbinic emissary, would actually travel from Israel to Libya and stay in his house. I think through his mother's request, he would have an amulet actually formed, and he was very, very inspired by this trip with the great rabbi actually came. He would actually cancel his studies to go to university, to learn in university, and devoted himself to studying Torah the whole time, interesting enough. I believe it was actually when he was 20 years of age, sadly, his father also passed away around that window of time in of itself. Somewhat when he was 22 years of age, he would get married to Ranit Mazal. His wife's name was Mazal. She happened to be the daughter of Rav Kamos Dayan, another great rabbi over there, I believe. And I think come the year 1898, he would move to the land of Israel, Eretz Yisrael over there, and he would live in the David Street, which was, I think, part of the streets, Bukhari neighborhood in himself, the Shchonat Bukhari in Jerusalem over there. And he would learn Kabbalah and really dwell inside it in a great length in of itself. Would be one of, let's just say, use some of his money, he would donate partly to found the Yeshivat, Rehovot HaNahar, the famous Kabbalistic yeshiva over there, and also uses money also within regards to forming the Yeshivat Mekubalim, השמים, very great things. I think along with Rabbi Chaim Yehuda Leib Orbach, very interesting enough. I think the Sha'ar HaShamayim yeshiva happens to be actually an Ashkenazic yeshiva in Yerushalayim. So it was both giving to Sephardic organization and also to various Ashkenazic institutions also. So very, very interesting enough. So I think that it happened to be the First World War, this was. And during that point in time, in the midst of it, he was forced to go to exile in Alexandria in Egypt. And I think because this was in 1916, his status as an Italian citizen had came about. And this was one of the reasons why he had to actually move to Egypt in this. So he would, in Alexandria, engage in activities, let's just say, helping found the Keter Torah Society there in Israel. And it was that goal of that institution itself was to spread the Torah study, the study of the Zohar, and many, many people would actually get inspired within regards to it. And I believe this society, let's just see, this Torah Society would have 9 branches in Jerusalem, in Alexandria, in Bnei Brak in Israel, naturally, in Tzfat, one of the 4 holy cities of Israel, Aleppo, in Damascus, in Beirut, in Lebanon, in Libya, in Tripoli, and also even in New York. So it's very diverse in of itself. He would found a yeshiva for young students over there that emigrated from Israel. And I think he had made an alliance with another great Rabbi Avram Abiksa, who we spoke about, I think just after Simchat Torah, happened to be his Hilula. He would raise a huge amount of money for the yeshiva and helped sustain 200 rabbis to earn a living, it was reported over. At the end of the First World War, he returned to Jerusalem and continued to be very, very active in all walks of a Torah life in himself, and was a great public figure. I think in 1923, he was one of the founders of the famous Yeshivat Pורת, let's say the bastion of the Sephardic Yeshivot in Israel. I think he assisted Rabbi Ben Zion Hazan in establishment. He happens to be was the Sephardic rabbi of the Jewish quarter in the Old City, naturally the director and founder of Yeshivat Pורת Yosef and the synagogue Shoshanayim Ledabit, we've spoken about various before. He edited also the books of Chacham Yosef Chaim, famous Ben Ishchai. And he would serve as a director of the committee till, I think, his end of days. He had vast wealth and donated so much money to charity and so on and so forth, but was spent his life fasting and impenitence in of itself, doing a huge amount, and was not using his wealth for his own, let's say, geshmiot. Once, of itself, he distributed all his money to institutions, yeshivot, supported Torah scholars, rabbis who studied Kabbalah. He printed various Kabbalistic books by great ancient authors, including the Ben Yehuda, and Shar Shalom, and Shevet Musa. These were great books. Also by Rabbi Eliyahu Kohen HaEmutari, who happens to be one of the great judges, one of the great Dayanim and Kabbalists of Izmir in of itself. So really, I don't think you necessarily mention the name of the publisher in these works also. And he distributed all these books, I think, especially in Israel and around the world, in mainly synagogues. He passed away, I believe, in the year 1927. He was approximately 64 years of age at the time. Passed away. It was on Tet Zayin Shvat. It was just after Tu B'Shvat, and was buried in Har HaZeitim, Mount of Olives burial plot in Israel. Now, as we said, let's explore his family life again. He got married at the age of 22 to Rabbanit Mazal, I think from the Zola family, from Rav Kamos Dayan's daughter, happened to be. And as we said before, in 1898, he would move to Eretz Yisrael. Now, it's interesting. I think he would have 3 boys and 4 girls. Interesting enough. Among the descendants of Rav Kalafon, I think was in Tripoli, a rabbi. Rabbanit Rivka, the wife of Rav Shlomo Miuchas from Benghazi, if I'm not mistaken. And Rabbanit Rachel, that was Rav Shalom Tzabach's wives. I think they live in Jerusalem. They lived. And interesting enough, Rabbanit Esther would be the wife of Rav Motlov Abadi, who became a great rabbi in the Magen David institutions in New York. And Rav Reuven, who lived in Jerusalem, Rav Emmanuel also, and Rabbanit Simcha happened to be the wife of Rav Yisrael Shama, who happened to live in London, if I'm not mistaken. So very much a great rabbi of his time. I would recommend everyone please to learn more about him. Very well traveled rabbi, one of the great rabbis of his time. Among his rabbis including Rabbi Yaakov Chai Monasa Rofa, I think Rav Chaim Shaul Dweka Kohen, really great rabbis who's mentioned about on various occasions before. And don't forget to light candles in memory. He passed away about 98 years ago from the time of recording. Friends, we're a community here. We're learning about great rabbis of yesteryear. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to the channel. If you feel anyone is interested in watching or learning more about these great rabbis, share the videos to other people. Wishing you blessings from Israel. Take care and be well, everyone.